Excuse me, are you Miss Emily?
Yeah, hi. Who are you?
Brian. Brian Steele.
He's the Griffin family's talking dog, but don't let his refined tastes and intellectual demeanor fool you. Brian may seem like the voice of reason compared to the chaos around him, but he's been responsible for some truly terrible actions over the years. From betraying his closest friends to morally questionable behavior, Brian has proven time and again that he's far from perfect. So, grab a seat as we count down the 10 worst things Brian Griffin has done.
Where's my money? You gonna give me my money? Where's my money, man?
Starting off with number 10, Brian steals money from Stewie in Patriot games. One of Brian's most notorious moments happens when he takes advantage of Stewie's trust. In this episode, Brian borrows money from Stewie, promising to pay him back. But instead of fulfilling his promise, Brian gambles away the money at a dog track, leaving himself even deeper in debt. When Stewie confronts him, Brian shrugs it off like it's no big deal. This sets up one of the most infamous scenes in Family Guy history, where Stewie violently beats Brian as payback for the money he owes. The real issue here is Brian's complete lack of accountability. Borrowing money from a baby, who also happens to be your closest companion, and then carelessly losing it shows just how selfish Brian can be. Sure, Stewie's methods of collecting debts may be extreme, but many fans couldn't help but side with him in this instance. Brian's casual attitude about the whole thing makes it clear that he doesn't think twice about betraying someone who's supposed to be his friend.
Ah, my head is swimming. Oh my God, Brian, no! No, stop it! What are you doing?
I can't help myself, Lois. I know you're married to Peter, but I love you and I can't stand it anymore.
Coming in at 9, it's Kissing Lois in Brian in Love. Brian's feelings for Lois Griffin have always been problematic. In earlier seasons, Brian harbored a secret crush on Lois, despite her being married to Peter. While unrequited love is understandable, Brian's actions in this episode crossed a major line. After realizing that his feelings for Lois are the root of some strange behavior, Brian confesses his love for her. To make matters worse, he impulsively kisses her, despite knowing full well how much Peter trusts him. What makes this act even worse is Brian's lack of remorse. Instead of accepting that Lois doesn't feel the same way, he continues to pine after her in later episodes, often making inappropriate comments or advances. This betrayal of Peter's trust is particularly disappointing, as Peter has always treated Brian like a best friend. It's a clear example of Brian putting his own desires above his loyalty to the Griffin family.
Oh, Meg, what happened to you?
Yo, I straight up thought that was Post Malone for a hot second.
I just had the worst day of my life.
On the 8th place, it's Brian mocking Meg in Road to Rhode Island. Let's be real, Meg Griffin has it rough. As the punching bag of the family, she's constantly ridiculed and insulted by everyone around her. But what makes Brian's treatment of Meg especially disappointing is that he's supposed to be the moral compass of the group. In the episode Road to Rhode Island, Brian joins in on the relentless mocking of Meg, adding insult to injury with his sharp wit. What's particularly frustrating about this is that Brian frequently criticizes others for their bad behavior, yet he doesn't hesitate to pile on when it comes to Meg. For a character who prides himself on being enlightened and compassionate, his cruelty toward Meg is not only hypocritical, but also unnecessary. It's a reminder that Brian's sense of superiority often blinds him to his own flaws.
Oh, thank God. Stewie, you got my text.
Yeah, didn't so much get them as was panic startled awake by them.
I really am in no condition to drive home.
Number 7 is driving drunk in Brian Sings and Swings. Brian's struggles with alcohol are a recurring theme in Family Guy, often played for laughs. However, in this episode, his drinking takes a dangerous turn. After spending the night at a bar, Brian decides to drive home while intoxicated. This reckless decision results in a car accident, putting not only himself but also others in danger. While the show doesn't dwell on the consequences of Brian's actions, this moment highlights a darker side of his character. For someone who constantly criticizes others for their irresponsibility, Brian's decision to drive drunk is shockingly hypocritical. It's one thing to have personal flaws, but when those flaws endanger others, it becomes much harder to excuse.
And this is Chris. Chris, this is my son, Dylan. Hi, Dylan. All this stuff in here is mine now.
Coming in at 6th place, Brian abandons his son in Brian's a Bad Father. Fatherhood is a significant responsibility, but Brian proves he's not up to the task in this episode. After reconnecting with his estranged son, Dylan, Brian initially seems excited to bond with him. However, it quickly becomes clear that Brian is more interested in using Dylan to boost his own image than actually being a good parent. When Dylan confronts Brian about his selfish behavior, Brian responds by abandoning him once again. This act is especially heartbreaking because Dylan clearly wants a relationship with his father, but Brian's narcissism gets in the way. For someone who often preaches about doing the right thing, Brian's failure to take responsibility as a parent is one of his most disappointing moments.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. Oh, no, it's not you. I'm just dealing with a lot right now. You know, kids. Does not come with a manual.
Brian also was caught sleeping with Quagmire's girlfriend in Jerome is the New Black at number 5. The animosity between Brian and Quagmire is one of the show's running subplots, and it's easy to see why Quagmire can't stand him. In this episode, Brian reaches a new low when he sleeps with Quagmire's girlfriend. What's worse is that Brian justifies his actions by claiming he's rescuing her from Quagmire, as if that excuses his betrayal. This moment highlights Brian's arrogance and his tendency to moralize his bad behavior. Instead of taking responsibility for his actions, he tries to frame himself as the hero of the situation. Not only does this ruin Quagmire's relationship, but it also solidifies Brian's reputation as a hypocrite who rarely practices what he preaches.
Oh, that was beautiful, Brian.
Well, you know what they say. Write what's in your heart.
At number 4, Brian is plagiarizing his novel in Play It Again, Brian. Brian's dream of becoming a successful writer is a recurring theme in Family Guy, but his methods for achieving that dream are far from ethical. In this episode, Brian wins a writing award for a novel he didn't actually write. Instead of coming clean, he basks in the glory, taking credit for someone else's work. This act of plagiarism is a stark contrast to Brian's usual claims of being morally superior. For someone who constantly criticizes others for their lack of integrity, stealing someone else's work is incredibly hypocritical. It's one of those moments that reveals just how far Brian is willing to go to feed his ego.
Hey, Bonnie making chicken marsala tonight?
Oh, she made that 3 nights ago.
Starting with the top 3, it's Brian betraying Peter in The Thin White Line. Brian's actions during his stint as a drug-sniffing dog are some of the most reckless we've seen. While struggling with a drug addiction, Brian crosses a major line by hitting on Peter's date. This betrayal is particularly shocking because Peter has always considered Brian a close friend. While Brian's addiction is a factor in his behavior, it doesn't excuse the fact that he's willing to betray Peter for his own selfish desires. It's a moment that showcases Brian's darker tendencies and his inability to prioritize his relationships over his impulses.
I don't want any trouble.
There's not gonna be any trouble as long as you eat my poo.
That's not happening.
Well, then I'll be forced to shoot you.
Go ahead, there aren't any bullets in that gun.
I don't believe you.
At 2nd place, Brian is faking a suicide attempt in Brian and Stewie. In this emotionally charged episode, Brian reveals his struggles with depression, but his methods for dealing with it are deeply manipulative. At one point, he fakes a suicide attempt to gain sympathy from Stewie. This act is not only manipulative, but also incredibly insensitive, as it trivializes the serious issue of mental health. While the episode does delve into some meaningful themes, Brian's actions leave a bad taste in the mouth. For someone who often portrays himself as emotionally intelligent, this moment is a glaring example of his inability to handle his issues in a healthy or responsible way.
Oh my God. Stewie, what the hell? These are all my ex-girlfriends.
Well, I thought they could provide some insights that might improve your love life.
And the worst thing Brian has ever done is sabotaging Cleveland in Love Blackchally. Topping our list is one of Brian's most selfish and destructive acts. In this episode, Brian sabotages Cleveland's budding relationship with a woman named Carolyn. Why? Because he wants her for himself. But after ruining Cleveland's chances, Brian realizes he doesn't actually love Carolyn and abandons her as well. This act of selfishness not only destroys 2 lives, but also highlights Brian's complete lack of empathy. For someone who constantly claims to value love and loyalty, his actions in this episode are unforgivable. It's a moment that solidifies Brian as one of the most morally questionable characters in Family Guy. And that's our list of the 10 worst things Brian Griffin has done. While Brian often positions himself as the voice of reason in the Griffin family, his actions prove that he's far from perfect. From betraying his friends to prioritizing his own desires above all else, Brian's worst moments remind us that even the most intellectual characters have their flaws. What do you think? Did we miss any other terrible things Brian has done? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Family Guy content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.